Hello everyone, this is Kona and thank you for tuning in to another video. As you can probably tell, I've been playing both a lot of TF2 and Overwatch, and I've been enjoying both games a lot. But after playing a bunch of Overwatch, of course, one of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot of heroes in that game that have similarities to classes in TF2. They may not be exactly the same, but it seems like they're modeled after TF2 classes. And so what I like to try and do is I like to try and take a TF2 class, try to find a hero in Overwatch that looks similar or sort of plays a similar role, and I want to compare the two. I want to see, based on the playstyle of what each class or character is capable of, which one do I actually prefer playing. Now, this isn't really a who would win if they were to fight each other sort of thing, because I think the characters in Overwatch, especially with the ultis and the fact that they're in that universe, have access to abilities that are kind of far beyond what's in TF2. So this is mainly based on what's just more fun for me to play. So my first comparison is going to be between the two rocket launching characters in each game, and that's the Soldier from TF2 and Pharah from Overwatch. Now, what's really nice about the Soldier is that he has very good and very consistent damage output with his rockets, especially with the blast radius of those. It's relatively easy to hit your targets. Of course, this depends on what rocket launcher you use. If you're like me and use a direct hit and miss everything, then it's not that great. But in general, I think the Soldier has very good damage output. Now, the default projectile speed for the Soldier is slower than Pharah's. I think the closest one he has is a Liberty Launcher. That's about how fast Pharah's rockets go. And oh man, Liberty Launcher, that weapon needs some help. I don't know why I do so bad with it, but yeah, anyway. Even though it is slower, I think the blast radius makes up for that, which sort of changes the engagement distance with the Soldier. I think the Soldier does really well when you're close up or about medium range, hopefully at some distance where you can easily predict where they're going, but also they can't dodge you. If you're shooting from across the map, really the Soldier is not that great because they'll just ignore it, or it'll just get easily nullified by a pyro or by an engineer. Now, Pharah has some very good consistent damage as well, and with the faster rockets, even though the splash radius is a little bit smaller, I think with the faster rockets, it's still very satisfying to get those direct hits. I noticed that her engagement distance is different from the Soldier's. It's a bit further back, and I think it's because she's kind of a squishy hero when you compare it to the rest of the Overwatch cast. She only has 200 health, and when you think about all the things in Overwatch that can kill you close up, like stuns, you have a lot of shotguns, and you have tank heroes that can tank so much damage, she kind of is at a disadvantage when she's close up, and so she's really about keeping her distance and just raining rockets at them. What's nice is that you can use your concussive blast ability to sort of create space for you just in case you're in a bind. Sometimes if people get too close, or maybe if you just want to knock someone off the map, you can use your concussive blast, and I kind of use it sometimes as an escape mechanism, similar to how if I were to use the Soldier's rocket jumping to get out of sticky situations. Speaking of rocket jumping, both characters have rocket jumping, and I want to talk a little bit about their mobility options. Now, the Soldier becomes really powerful when you can learn to rocket jump, and I'm not saying you have to rocket jump like a pro, just sort of basic. Even I can't really rocket jump that great, but it's enough for me to gain a mobility advantage over a lot of the classes in TF2. The Soldier is the second slowest walking class in the game, coming right after the Heavy, but with rocket jumping, I think he becomes the second fastest in the game. I'm not sure. I still think sticky jumping with the Devilman is faster than rocket jumping with the Soldier, but still, the Soldier becomes very quick if you can learn to rocket jump. And that's the thing, rocket jumping takes some time to practice, and with enough practice you can finally control your trajectory through the air. I'm always amazed when people rocket jump and they have so much precision. It's just so cool to watch. This has a lot of practical applications as well. Like, you can use rocket jumping to flank the enemy, to basically beat the enemy to a certain place and flank them from a spot where you wouldn't really expect anyone to be, because maybe that place was only accessible by rocket jumping. Now, Pharah, on the other hand, does rocket jumping a little bit differently from the Soldier. Now, I don't see a whole lot of people do this, but Pharah can actually rocket jump like the Soldier. If you shoot at the ground and jump, you're able to just propel yourself in the air, and that can save you from using your regular rocket jumping ability. And that's the thing, is I see a lot of people just defaulting to the regular rocket jump ability where you just press one button, and while that's nice and while that's very easy to use, it doesn't require too much practice. I really think that in order to take full advantage of Pharah, you should know how to do both. Now, you can actually use both of these rocket jumps within sort of the same maneuver to create almost like a double rocket jump. Now what I like to do is I like to start off with my regular TF2 soldier rocket jump just to gain a height advantage over my enemy, and use the hover ability to maintain my height advantage. And if I ever need to go higher, I still have my rocket jump ability, my skill ability, on deck ready to go. Now while this double jump ability is very nice and it's a lot of fun to use, sometimes I feel it's a bit limiting just because of the way her rocket jumps are implemented. Pharah can definitely travel very fast vertically, but I feel that she lacks horizontal speed if you want to get to somewhere really quickly. Her rocket jump does allow you to travel horizontally a bit faster than walking. I think it's about twice as fast as walking, yet I feel it's a little bit slow for me, at least when I compare it to the TF2 soldier. Now if you really need to move horizontal quickly, you can always use her concussive blast ability to kind of push you along. Either aim it at a wall behind you or just aim it at the ground behind you and then jump, and it'll just push you along pretty quickly. But keep in mind that when you do that, it's going to be on cooldown, so don't use it when you absolutely have to use it in an actual fight. Use it maybe near spawn or something like that, just get out there quickly. Now the last thing I want to talk about is Pharah's Rocket Barrage ultimate ability compared with the soldier. I guess its equivalent would be the airstrike and the base jumper. Now when I first started playing Pharah, I thought the best way to use her barrage ultimate was to jump jet as high as possible and then use it from up there. But I realized that that's probably not the best way to use it. Pharah freezes in the air, which makes her a very easy target for anyone who's not caught in your ultimate. So usually if I were to do that, I get picked off pretty easily because someone else has a shot on me. I think instead it's better to use it at sort of a low to mid altitude, somewhere where the enemy is not really expecting you to jump really high and then being an easy target. Now the soldier, on the other hand, with the airstrike and the base jumper, it's not really the same as raining justice from above, but I feel it can be still very powerful in TF2. I think the power comes in the mobility you have while you're actually floating around in the air. Now if you can airstrafe and if you can retract and deploy your parachute to make your descent unpredictable, you can basically get free shots on the enemy. They won't be able to hit you too much, and if you have all 8 rockets ready to go, that can be very, very devastating. I kind of wish sometimes it was a little bit more than 8 rockets because I'm getting so many kills. I'm like, I want more. I want more damage, but I kind of understand why they want to cap it at about 8 because it might be a little bit too powerful after that. So now it's time for me to choose which one do I prefer playing the most, and I'm gonna have to go with the soldier from TF2. I think it's because his mobility options are a little bit better than Pharah's. Even though Pharah can jump really, really high, I don't really like that kind of playstyle where I have to go super, super vertical. I like the idea of bombing in as a soldier, going really, really fast as a soldier, and having more control over my rocket jumping, if I can practice, of course, but I really like having more control over that. Whereas Pharah, she can sort of do that, but I feel like she's more of a vertical jumper and it's kind of limiting that way. But I'd like to know what you think about this. Which one do you prefer? If you've been playing TF2 and Overwatch, do you like the soldier more or do you like Pharah more? Which one is more fun for you? And also, okay, I'm gonna put this question out there. If these two were to fight, which one would win? Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.